Hey, my name is PolishLynx and welcome to the letter. As you can hear, there are cries coming, probably from somewhere in this area. Anywho, curiosity sinks in as I follow the sorrowful sound to the kitchen. Before that, let's check out here. Nothing new. Over here, something new. I think we read this. We haven't read this, I think. During supper, Hannah found Luke drinking absinthe, and this caused an argument. While Hannah was angered by her husband's drinking problem, Luke was suspicious of his wife's activities, having not seen her the whole afternoon despite finishing a luxury livings interview early. Then there was this crying woman. Probably woman. And into the wine cellar hatch.
Hello? Is anybody down there?
No! I'm curious and concerned, but there is no way I'm going to down into the dark and humid underground. I'm not as enthusiastic as Luke, who considers himself quite the connoisseur. However, I also cannot bring myself to go to bed with this rocket going on. If this is one of the household help, they will surely need some talking. After all, this wouldn't be the first time I've gone and found one of the maids sobbing their eyes out over one thing or another. As professional as our staff are, they are still human. More often than not, it was either Johannes or I who'd calm them down, who would help them figure out how to go on about things. Unfortunately, I'm not in high spirits right now, so I'm not as wholly benevolent. Are you kidding me? It's in the middle of the night, and we're supposed to go basically underground while there is someone crying. Besides, I doubt any human being would hide under the freaking hatch over there. They will be in their room, because I do believe there are like maid rooms, right? No, I'm not opening this. I knocked 3 times. Waiting for any sort of reply yields me no results, and I already touched the floor hatch far too many times than what I'd like. I take a deep breath before reaching out again to whoever's inside. I've learned from experience that people respond better to kindness than threats. Shouting angrily would not help in coaxing them out.
You, in the cellar? Do come out. We don't want Luke waking up and finding you in there, do we? That man would go ballistic thinking someone was trying to steal his precious wine.
Still nothing.
You can have a good cry. Just not in there, yes? Why don't you come out here and we can have a cuppa and you can tell me all about whatever it is you're bawling about?
With how long I'm standing here, however, I'm starting to think myself as a fool. I did not want to acknowledge the other feeling I have, especially as the wailing took an return. The thought of being played with didn't sit too well with me, and I had to stop myself from getting too hot-headed as I tried one more time.
Now you come out of there! That is an order from the lady of the house, do you hear me? Why, I ought to...
I freeze as a hand clamps down my shoulder. The dread I've been feeling all this time makes itself known as I kneel unmoving, not even daring to breathe. I can feel my heart pounding against my chest. Same! But the touch is gone as quickly as it had seized me. It is only Johannes I see when I look back.
Apologies, madam, for touching you like that. You were not responding to my voice, and you looked about ready to wake the whole mansion up.
Eh?
I was... I'm sorry. I was getting rather loud, wasn't I? But that crying woman in there, we must do something about her.
He grows silent for a moment and just looks concerned. At least I'd like to interpret it as concern, given how stoic our head butler usually is. Or rather, it must have been concern as he takes off a glove and presses the back of his hand at my forehead before his worrisome inquiry.
I beg your pardon. What? Crying woman?
Uh-oh.
Are you feeling well, madam?
In the cellar? Can't you hear her?
Madam, Hannah, no one is down there.
What?
The cellar is locked. Only Luke and I have duplicates of the keys. Nobody is down there.
I start in disbelief. But when I listen once more, I hear no crying. Just cicadas. Tugging the hatch for good measure proved his words to be true too. The thing won't budge unless I had a key, short of using power tools on it.
Perhaps it is time for you to go to bed, madam.
Huh.
You are simply tired and hearing things, a perfectly normal human experience.
Huh.
But if you are still experiencing auditory hallucinations in the morning, you are free to consult with me.
There is a cold feeling in the pit of my stomach as he helps me up to my feet. What he says makes sense. And who am I to question someone who used to be a doctor? Okay, just how good is the payment as a butler in your family? Damn it! Can I get a job there? I'm just tired, that's it. Long day of moving, the interview, dealing with Luke, that has all drained me of any proper sense.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I just need some sleep, that's all.
Of course I'm right. Go on then. Gute Nacht.
Gute Nacht, Johannes.
Good night, Johannes. Good night, house.
Oh, it's just a tick. That's what I can take myself off. I can't ignore the strange feeling in my gut. Either there is something wrong with this house, or there is something wrong with my head. Sleep will be elusive tonight. God damn it. This is getting nuts. Luke is already gone by the time I rise. There isn't a single hide nor hair of him to be found, and trying to call him his mobile is a bust, as it only goes straight to his voicemail. That's twice in a row he's gone on me. And for him to disappear today, of all days, is every bit upsetting because of what's to come. What's to come? This morning is once again filled with a whirlwind of activity. Fortunately, I'm much more refreshed as I took a break from my responsibilities. I haven't the faintest clue where Luke was yesterday. Today is going to be a busy day, although unlike Wednesday, the master of the house isn't here right now, absent once again from his duties. Hopefully he will be back in time for the party. This is our house, after all. A grand housewarming party for the wonderful Wright mansion. Every person of importance from Luxburn is invited, and there will be a few guests flying in as well. Of course, there will be some people from the media, along with friends and acquaintances who are made no less important, regardless of their status in society. Marianne, that's not her name, and I discuss business and last-minute touches to the house before finalizing everything. Note that there is much change from our original plans. Bar any huge additions to the property itself, the mansion is nearly 100% complete.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in
How do you still screw up her name?
such a short time, too.
I mean, how? Marianne. 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 Marianne.
Well, I can't take all of the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the right mansion.
Oh, she blushed. So cute.
There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Luke and I had a small tiff about making the second bedroom into a child's playroom, which I insisted is completely practical. In the end, he had to acquiesce it. I didn't give him any choice in the matter. I mean, there are ways to convince men, right? I even bought this wonderful wooden crib from the antique store yesterday, including some toys. Just in case anyone brings their baby, of course. Besides, we have little need for actual guest rooms. We hardly have guests who spend the night. Huh. And what's the point of such a huge mansion? Right? If we absolutely have to, we often choose to foot the bill for their visit on one of our hotels instead. Always at Luke's own insistence. And on the off chance that we actually let someone stay, the bedroom in the opposite wing is still up to the task.
Oh no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
Let's not forget about the helipad he mentioned. No, I did not agree to him having a helipad. How did you know I was going to say that?
Alright then. Well, do we have any other concerns? Anything we need to put on our agenda before the party commences?
No, I don't think so. Not unless Luke has anything else to say.
Is he around then? It'd be best if we can note down his request right away considering the scope of his usual ones.
Around? No. Where is he? Who knows where? I don't.
No, he's not around.
She didn't have to point out the obvious now, did she? After 7 long years, I already gotten used to him. I should be by now. Still not, apparently.
But don't you have a party?
Let's party! I want nothing more than to complain to Wink about how unfair that is. However, airing out one's dirty laundry is simply taboo among high society. To do so will make you a ripe target for the next dinner party chit-chat. Vultures, there are a lot of them really. Or most of them at least. There are always good ones, like Rogel Lee. But put your trust in the wrong person, you'll find yourself eagerly picked apart.
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see.
Huh?
That friend he's visiting. He's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
Huh? Perhaps I'm being a bit too rash, a bit too hot-headed in divulging details. But I thought myself clever with the plan to dress it up as a gossip. Marianne's raised brow made me unsure whether she's interested or not. Probably not. Or probably she can clearly see that it's not true. Although that does make things better if she has no interest and therefore has no hidden intent to utilize whatever I might say to her. I mean, she honestly, I believe, doesn't give a damn.
They've been married for a long time and they've hit a... how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband.
Where do we know that description from? And if we, substitute the drinking wife with drinking husband, huh?
But it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark.
It's been only 7 years! You think I don't remember those numbers? I do.
What do you think?
You were asking for my personal opinion on the matter, ma'am?
Yes.
Do you want me to be honest, or...
I don't know. Yes, damn it. Please, be honest with me.
Be honest with me, Marianne. I don't need someone to sugarcoat it.
Unlocked real talk. Oh my god, I'm scoring points with Marianne.
I'm not some fragile thing that I'm just going to break down at the slightest thing.
She hesitates, taking a sip of her coffee while I stare into my own cup of tea. The silence starts on, and I almost believe that she will never answer my question. I suppose that I shouldn't blame her, putting her in a tight spot like this. Her hesitation is understandable, for I love to admit it. She simply wants this whole thing to stay professional. But then she speaks.
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
She is good at it. She is so good at it. It's my turn to hesitate now. I really didn't expect such a straightforward question. And to get to the heart of the matter, I suppose I'm not as clever as I'd like to think. Or it's really that bad that an outsider can see our little marital troubles. Surely we aren't that obvious, are we? We've put up the act of a perfect couple for years, although it hadn't always been an act. Marianne is just more keen than an average person, of course. It is a necessity to her car, and she's been working so closely with us. Yes, that's it.
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then, I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle. But, if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Someone who won't even give him the time of the day.
Nice.
Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself.
True.
Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone.
Sure. I mean, not, crossing some boundaries, but still true.
That's just my 2 pence worth, of course.
So you're saying they should divorce?
Nothing as drastic as that.
Wow, she goes straight to that.
If they're afraid that it might lead to just that, then maybe that is what's meant to happen in the first place. We shouldn't let our fear control our lives.
Oh. So we shouldn't be afraid of the girl of the house.
But it's just a short hiatus is all. Or, couples therapy? Look, I'm really not the best person to ask about relationships, so grain of salt and all that.
She tears off, having said her piece, and leaves nothing but the smell of coffee and Earl Grey between us. There is a calm despite the nature of what had just been discussed. To say that her words make me start thinking is an understatement. To say that I'm not considering her advice is a lie. And to say that this might just be the calm before the storm is a possibility. Others have had shorter marriages, yes, but plenty have celebrated long and happy ones as well. My own parents celebrated their choral anniversary before they passed away. God damn it, what is a choral anniversary? Seriously, don't use some weird names, use numbers! Choral anniversary, the fuck is that? 50 years? I'm really taking a shot. 35? Okay. Wait, so they weren't married for a long time. Or more like, their lives weren't too long. Anyway, but 7 years? 7 years isn't a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. It isn't a whole lot of time to see what and where our relationship can bring us. And at the same time, 7 years. Well, it hasn't been entirely made up of unhappy years, has it? It won't last forever. It's not supposed to anyway. I just read the thought that it might last for a very long time. I read the thought that these small spots, these little disagreements will turn into an all-out resentment. The idea that we'll grow to hate each other with every fiber of our being scares me. I can't even pinpoint the exact moment when our blissful union turned sour. Story updated. We can get through this, right? I know that I still do love him. And I feel that there is still a part of him that loves me in return. We just need to get our hands together and talk it out. Surely he will see some sense. There's a cut before Marianne clears her throat. Ama's been quiet for so long that I move to apologize when she stands up. We both end up on our feet, unsure of how to proceed. Some sort of awkward shuffle occurs as we decide whether to sit back down or not.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party?
The party!
Oh, you really must, Marianne.
I'll try to stay and chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least.
Who?
If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
We'll see. So, if I can be excused?
Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive.
Who arrives on the party early?
Because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
Retards. Oh, the journal. Come on, journal. 28th. Hannah and Marianne were seen discussing the mansion's finishing touches before the housewarming party. On the whim, Hannah asked for Marianne's opinion about a certain couple having marital problems. It leaves the former were some way about after the latter excused herself from attending the party. But honestly, I'm starting to like Marianne even more. More and more. She's someone that would avoid a party, I guess. And I'm kinda similar. In that case, I don't like parties. Anyway. The scene outside the parlor is a great organized mess. Aside from our own household help, we hired the service of the temp agency which provides staff for right enterprise in the hospitality sector. Even our very skilled staff cannot undertake a party of this size on their own. Waiters, busboys, hostesses, and their staff captains move about in rows, carrying crockery and serveware good for several dozen people and then some. Chefs and bartenders tail after Johannes, looking like scared little children, as he escorts them through the kitchen and into the wine cellar. To peruse the stocks to select what can be served. At departed, what can be used for cooking.
Schnell! We have a lot to do, and I believe we did not hire snails.
Schneller, schneller!
Snails are for the dishes.
Ugh, no! Disgusting. Okay, snails are something I would never eat, to be honest. They're fucking disgusting, okay? They look disgusting, that's enough for me. A string quartet readies up to play for the evening, turning the instruments as they fill the air with the idle chatter. Floral decor. Huh. Now that I think about it, Isabella is basically someone that knew all of those people. Hannah doesn't know Rebecca and Ashton. Zachary is technically another person that knows everyone, I think. Anyway, let's not get into all the people. Flower decor wore thousands full vases, wreaths and baskets, while petals are scattered along the driveway up front. A nice sculpture of a reindeer is brought in carefully by pair. What is it, Christmas already? It is followed by a simple cake, just a 5-tier white chiffon, one with white chocolate mousse, fresh berries, and a light dusting of edible gold leaf. Okay, it looks freaking delightful. And I bet it's super delicious. But despite the fact that I told Marianne how I will attend to all of this, I find myself unable to focus or care for any of it. I still have our discussion running in my mind, and looking at all of this, I only see Luke everywhere. What? Well, it's better that you see Luke than you know who. These are all the grand things that Luke wanted to have for the party. I had wanted a small, elegant and simple gathering with only a select few invited, namely the people who I would actually trust to enter my home. I didn't want any bloody politicians or paparazzi in here, no matter how used I am to catering them.
At least be here for your party. Damn it, Luke.
The entire thing screamed, "Look right." And I can't help but add another question to my growing list of queries: when did I lose myself? It's always about him nowadays, isn't it? What about Hannah Wright? What about Hannah Evans? Well, I mean, you can always divorce him and I'll enter the stage. I used to be my own woman who made her own name, her own car, and her own decisions. Sure, I was already the social butterfly that I still am today, but it wasn't all empty shallow gossip and sitting pretty. I was also lauded for my knowledge and talent. Finance manager wasn't as handy, just because my father owned the company. I had insisted I start at the bottom so I could work my way to the top and prove myself. Okay, sorry, but I like her more and more with each situation, damn it. She's awesome. And I did. I worked numbers, managed budgets, money accounts, analyzed the competition and market trends. There was the calculation of financial risk, cost reduction opportunities, outdoor liaison and public relations, supervision of staff, and well, I generally had a huge slew of responsibilities. Admittedly, I was not quite the attention seeker even back then, having dedicated most of my youth craving for my parents' approval. Failing that, I turned to others, looked for praise from anyone who would give it, however fleeting it all was. And look, the way he looked at me, the way he watched me and took a genuine interest. He had me disgustingly obsessed since day one, hasn't he? He saw me for me, Hannah Evans, with both my faults and my achievements. The man didn't treat me like some damsel in distress, or some prize to be won. I remember the night before we were married, where we talked about everything and anything. I bet it was not only talking. From big things like business, society and philosophy to little things such as what we had for breakfast or whether we liked cats or dogs more. Dogs, obviously. I remember that. We both prefer dogs. Nowadays I'm just Luke Wright's wife. It's mostly my fault, isn't it? They told me that husbands prefer wives who are docile and subordinate. A woman who will always be there for him, yet would never outshine him in all aspects except beauty. I wouldn't say that's true. A wife needs to be at home and attend to his needs, to have children and to take care of them in his absence. I disagree with that. They said I have no business working anymore after I was married. I can blame society, but I listened. Before I can fall further into this introspective pit of self-loathing, someone calls for my attention.
The guests have arrived, madam.
And Luke?
Running a bit late, I'm afraid.
Late for his own party. That man, I swear. He's probably looking to make a dramatic entrance, knowing him. Open the doors then. We mustn't hurry.
Cars line up the driveway, peppering the front of the mansion with vehicles of every kind. Grand Tourers, supercars, even the old high-end muscle car or two. Now that's a car I'm talking about, that's a good car. Convertibles, grand saloons and other luxury cars can be seen being parked by volettes. Muscle cars are the best. A handful of cabs drive well, possibly for those who thought it's too troublesome to bring their own cars. There are at least 2 different media vans as well. We're all here about what may be considered the biggest event of the year for Luxburn. Alright, in the end I had to turn you off. So far. Who knows what we'll plan for the winter holidays? Even you don't know that, huh?
Welcome everyone.
Welcome!
Please, make yourselves at home.
Yay! Some of the guests idle, enjoying the warm, if not strange sunshine we are experiencing, before gloomy skies inevitably return. They greet acquaintances and friends with warm smiles, others less so. From where I stand, I can see the hierarchy of power that ties that being these individuals here, whether through convenience or necessity. However, there are also few who are not here to further cement their current place in high society. Oh, such as that young man with his oriental air, ignorant of the looks he received from women and men alike.
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
Or that rose-haired woman talking on her phone while she looks unsure of why she's here exactly.
Yes, I'm at the party already, Mom.
Huh?
Yes, I'll say hi to her if I can.
I see Zachary, the photographer, as well. He talks to a few of the other media crew with an air of familiarity.
I was just here a few days ago, yeah. And the inside is huge, but the staff are pretty helpful if you get lost.
So you got lost, huh? I had invited Father Norman too. Whoo! It's the least I can do after he blessed the mansion on my request. What? Aside from my small donation to the church, of course. When did he do that? But this poor man had taken ill and went through a nervous breakdown of some sort the other day. Yeah. I wonder what might be the reason for that to happen. And then there are people like the Chief Inspector, people who I can never be too sure about. People who stand on the border between being suspicious and being trustworthy.
Thank you for the invite, Anna. Husband still missing, I see.
I should be saying the same of your darling Rochelle, Lee. The doctors again?
She told me she'll just be in the gardens. I bet she's lying and that she's somewhere around mingling, gossiping with the other ladies. It's no offense, but that seems to be all you ladies do at these parties.
And aren't you gossiping right now?
Yes, well, what about Luke? Should we file a missing persons report now, or do you want to wait 24 hours?
He's around.
You know, I can tell if someone's bluffing. Don't tell me, let me guess. He's finally drunken himself to death and not wanting a scandal, you've hidden his body. I was wanting to give this housewarming gift to him personally, too. It's a plate that holds a wine glass so he can stop killing himself with liquid lunches. Looks like it's too late for that.
Nothing like that. Besides, this is a hardly polite conversation.
Oh, relax. I'm just trying to be cheeky to lighten the mood. It's not like I want Luke dead. The man doesn't serve dodgy plonk like the others when I visit, and he pays his respects well enough. I could use a glass of wine or three, actually. Rochelle's been in a horrid mood. Threw her stilettos at me the other day and almost took an eye out. Not sure if this is how it usually goes, but I blame the pregnancy.
I wouldn't know, would I?
Still no plans for a baby? Well, I guess that's for the best. If it's this bad now, I can't even imagine how bad it'll be when that little baby bump becomes huge.
Have I mentioned how I don't trust him no matter how I tried to do so? At least he brought a gift, I suppose.
Why don't you just go inside and have some wine, Lee?
Think I will, thanks.
Greetings such as these carry on as the guests continue to trickle in. Where you have short conversation, normally shake hands and nod heads, I make sure to attend and welcome each of them. As the first hour passes by, the rest of us struggles and I adjourn to the ballroom. And latecomers will have the attention of the porter instead. I have other duties to attend to now, and will attend those in the next episode. So that will be happening tomorrow. For now, hope you enjoyed it. See you there, hopefully. Bye bye.